Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita on Sunday morning, and this morning we are having the verse 33, which has no purport, so we'll read also the verse 34, which has a small purport. Evikshera angahaya sabasa chetana.
Evikshera angahaya sabasa chetana.
Evikshera angahaya sabasa chetana.
Evikshera angahaya sabasa chetana.
Badiyavya pila sabe sakala bhuvana.
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 Somebody else wants to read the verse? Vuoi leggere tu?
Non si sente.
Leggi il verso. Leggi il verso.
Evikshera angahaya sabasa chetana.
Evrikshera angahaya sabasa chetana.
Badiyavya pila sabe sakala bhuvana.
Badiyavya pila sabe sakala bhuvana. Evrikshera angahaya sabasa chetana. Padiyavya pila sabe sakala bhuvana.
Evrikshera angahaya sabasa chetana.
Evrikshera angahaya sabasa chetana.
Padiyavya pila sabe sakala bhuvana.
Padiyavya pila sabe sakala bhuvana.
Evrikshera angahaya sabasa chetana.
Evrikshera angahaya sabasa chetana.
Badiyavya pila sabe sakala bhuvana.
Padiyavya pila sabe sakala bhuvana. Thank you. We read the translation word by word. This. Vrikshera of the Chaitanya tree.
Vrikshera of the Chaitanya tree.
Anga, parts.
Anga, parts.
Haya, are.
Haya, are.
Saba, all.
Saba, all.
Sachetana, spiritual cognizant. Spiritually cognizant.
Spiritually cognizant.
Badya,
Badya,
increasing.
increasing.
Badya, increasing. Vyapila,
Vyapila,
overflowed.
overflowed.
Sabe,
Sabe,
all the parts.
all the parts.
Sakala, all. Bhuvana, the world.
The world.
The translation of the verse is, all the parts of this tree are spiritually cognizant, and thus, as they grow up, they spread all over the world. And so, let's read the next. Ekala malakara ami kahan yaba. Ekalava katapala padiya vilaba. The translation is, I am the only gardener. How many places can I go? How many fruits can I pick and distribute? The purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Here, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu indicates that the distribution of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra should be performed by combined forces. Although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he laments, "How can I act alone? How can I alone pick the fruit and distribute it all over the world?" This indicates that all classes of devotees should combine to distribute the Hare Krishna Mahamantra without consideration of the time, place, or situation. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pracharya Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Veshatari Amayama Timirandasya Janajana Shalaka Chakshut Unvitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave. I didn't sing Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. I'm sorry.
You can sing now.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna. Please forgive me, I'm really not often here reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, maybe once a year. So, this is the continuation of this very, very beautiful chapter, which is describing, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is describing Lord Chaitanya as the beautiful tree which grows with deep roots and spreads its branches, and when the tree is enough big, it starts bearing fruits. And somewhere in the next verses there is also a comparison to the fig tree, how a fig tree has so many fruits all over the branches. And now Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became so absorbed in his mission of distributing love of God that he manifests from his ecstatic emotions the fruits of this beautiful chanting of the holy name, and he would like to distribute those fruits in the whole world. And we come to the point here where he is, Srila Prabhupada would say, lamenting. Even he is a Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is lamenting, how can I do this alone? How can I pick up and distribute all those fruits alone? And in this way, he actually wants to inspire everyone who gets into contact by some causeless mercy with the chanting of the holy name, and tell them, do not eat your fruits alone, always divide them or pick another one and distribute because this is his mood. His mood was not to just experience his emotions and keep them for himself. He always wanted to show this. And in a way, I think in this first 24 years of his life, where he started the Sankirtan mission and went on through the streets and chanted and exhibited the beauty of this congregational chanting of the holy name. This was very, very visible. But late in the other 24 years, he dedicated himself to the deeper absorption of what he wanted to teach us. But still, by his example and by the example of his followers and servants, we learn how at the same time, while we endeavor to distribute the fruits of this Sankirtan Yagya, we also need to more and more absorb ourselves deeply into this practice. So both things are needed, the distribution and taking part of the mission and the deeper absorption. I was thinking how could we, it's interesting that in this purport, Srila Prabhupada writes in the last sentence that this indicates that all the classes of devotees should combine to distribute the Hare Krishna Mahamantra without consideration of time, place, or situation. Now, usually we are always kind of asked to consider time, place, and circumstances, like where we are, in which country, with which culture we live, who's around us, to whom we are preaching, how we are preaching. Are we dressing the sari and the dhoti and going and chanting, or are we dressing in a normal classical dress of the country in which we are living? So I got a little bewildered when I read this. I would like to hear from you. How do you understand this? Help me, please. Angela, Annie. How do we understand this? We go and preach without considering time, place, and circumstances.
Srila Prabhupada say all classes of devotees.
Mm-hmm.
So that means whether you're qualified or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, I remember in Norway there was one person, he got all his friends interested in Krishna consciousness. But he was not a devotee, kind of like. But at least 6 or 7 persons joined because of him. Because he just kind of like did this. You know, no time, place, and circumstances. Just give Krishna. So the reason for this is that Lord Chaitanya you just become the instrument of Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya act through you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're completely on the spiritual platform, you know, this can actually happen. You can become an instrument of the Lord, and then the external things they don't matter this much.
Mm-hmm.
So they are both, you know, and also the persons. You only discriminate on the material level, you know, but everybody is an eternal servant of Krishna. That would be the right, you know, but when you see, oh, this is an old person, this is a young person, this person is not dressed so nicely, this person is, you know, we discriminate, and therefore we cannot actually reach the soul. So it's on both sides.
Mm.
I'm sure somebody else, but
Yeah, I'd really like to understand this better. Because it's true, no? That we are encouraged to consider time, place, and circumstances in our preaching efforts. So we know that Srila Prabhupada is always kind of asking us to think about, like encouraging our intellect to not just like act out of, kind of copy paste, but be creative, be like in our capacity also. Like some devotees are definitely much more qualified. They have qualities given by Krishna to distribute the holy name, and some are more tiny, small in their endeavors. But still, we all, by our living example, already emanate the beauty of this process, and with whomever we come in contact, we could, it doesn't matter where we are, what we are doing, with whomever we come in contact, we already can inspire them by our life example. What do you think, Venuya, about not considering time, place, and circumstance?
Also for me is I'm a beginner in Krishna consciousness, and for me alone is totally difficult. I always pray for guidance if Krishna connects me with someone, and then I remember a quotation. My Mohammed is also from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, one of his books, but I don't know exactly which one. That we do our part and we leave up the rest to Lord Chaitanya. How it will fructify or will fructify or not, no? And like Manjulamani said, to be an instrument of Lord Chaitanya, my Guru Maharaj often said, we are not only reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, we are in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. The Chaitanya Lila is still going on and we are a part of it. No? And what encouraged me is that my Guru Maharaj said, yes, we are, I am fallen, I'm totally unqualified, but I receive from my spiritual master a great gift, and this great gift I can share. So this is something that encourages me.
Yes, it's kind of like we receive the fruit, and then we want to also distribute that fruit. It's not just that we want to eat it for ourselves, we also want to share with others the taste and the sweetness, and I like this, what you said, very nice. We are in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are participating. It's a living tree. Or when a living tree is there, it's expanding constantly. So we can imagine that, from like Srila Prabhupada says that ISKCON is a big branch of this Chaitanya tree, and we are all branches and leaves, and those branches and leaves, even if they are young, they are slowly bearing more and more fruits, and then it's interesting that we can see all over the world actually holy name is spreading very nicely. I was recently a little bit connected to Krishna Kshetra Swami, and he is preaching in China. He's traveling in China, and there are always photos of him, and sometimes he is giving programs dressed in official sannyasi dress, and sometimes he is giving programs with t-shirt and shirt and pants, and he's translator, Chinese lady dressed in sari. So it's kind of combining anything in a way to. And then there was an interesting point that most of the attendants were ladies. And then someone was asking him, Maharaj, how come the most of the ladies, where are the men? And he explained that the men are afraid to participate because they may lose their job or be kind of put in the socially in a difficult position. So the ladies are more detached, but definitely the ladies will go home and share with their husbands and families. So even in difficult places, when you cannot really openly present Krishna consciousness, it's still possible. It's still going on. So, some more reflections about who is our dear.
Ellen.
Oh, Ellen, I remember you was here last week also. My husband was giving, Helen is here.
Yeah,
Thank you for being with us.
no problem, you're welcome. My experience are more that people on the street don't want the fruits.
Mm-hmm.
That's more my experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, and that's what where I the whole week now, last week, the lectures asking me, and then also in my private life, always with sharing the fruits. But I have more like they don't want, they are scared or accepted the fruits.
Mm-hmm. They're scared to accept those fruits.
Yeah, I hear here in a lecture also that they don't want prasadam until we know that it's very good and very well, and then they are lost people. And that is what I hear, and that's also what what my experience is.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. In this age of Kali, people are very absorbed in their activities, fruitive activities and lives, and they really do not know, like they see maybe devotees and they think that devotees are some strange people. And I have heard recently one good friend of mine, she said she saw devotees first time and she just ran away from them. She was like, that's too strange, like I cannot connect. And after some time, Krishna came into her life in a different way. Like maybe not from that door, but Krishna used that door, you know. So when that happened, she realized, she made a connection between the information she received from that side that's connected to devotees. And then her interest for bhakti yoga and for spirituality became completely, activated. So Krishna is always very, very eager to come into our life. So he finds a way. If the soul has even a small interest, like the fire is very, very fine, then it's still there. So if you put a little bit more fuel, a little bit more, it becomes bigger and bigger. So even if people once on the street hear the holy name, it's sufficient. for their soul to reactivate. If it is this in this life or in the next or in the next 10 lives, doesn't matter. Once the holy name enters the ear, something happens in the soul. So it's just a matter of time. But it's interesting, your observation. We cannot expect also that, people will just see the Harinam party and everyone immediately gives up everything and follows. And that's not how it works. It's very, very subtle. Thank you. Do you think about not considering time, place and circumstances?
Well, by thinking of this comment also, I had a wonderful experience. I was, a grand part of my life, 24-hour engaged with devotee association with Buddhism. But there was part of my life where I was not association with devotee, we were far for some time from temple. But somehow or other this I liked it the most, because I had wonderful experience. Whenever I was in some company working, and even by not saying, anything, they were asking me, why you have this answer with that? Why you are vegetarian? For this question. And especially, I remember in the company, we were 4 boys working there, and amazing that I didn't say anything, and one was speaking all day about his sex experience, another was speaking all day about his drugs experience, the other one was more the third one was more different, was more sweet boy. But then we were start speaking somehow or other about Krishna consciousness. They were asking me, and then we were somehow or other, they like the story of Lord Ram. And then we were working in the company 8 hours a day, and for 3 days, 8 hours a day, we were speaking about Ramayana, the whole day, 3 days. And they didn't say anything about all the leelas, The third point, and then he asked me, I want all your books, please read me all your books. And this was the only time in my life that I said all Bhagavatam, all Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna book, Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Devotion. I give him all the books. This was my best experience.
Yes, that's true. The devotee, it's said that when devotee reminds others of Krishna, like he carries Krishna in himself, and he is conscious of Krishna's presence in himself, then whomever he meets will remind them of Krishna, or in a way, like if they do not know Krishna, then they will feel some attraction to that person, because Krishna is attracting everyone. And then they will become curious about that person, and then get into experience of Krishna. I liked in this verse the words spiritually cognizant. Did you notice this? In the verse 33, it said that all the parts of these 3 are spiritually cognizant. So I was curious about this. And spiritually cognizant is they have knowledge. They have knowledge. And they are being aware. That means like they are already charged by this potency. So all of us are already charged with the potency to take this. I have also written, because one beautiful lecture from Shivaram Swami came to me, and I'm still not, like, I just entered. I didn't go through all, but he talks about this in the beginning of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Adi Lila, the fourth verse, which says, "May the Supreme Lord, who is known as the son of Srimati Sachidevi, be transcendently situated in the innermost chambers of your heart. Resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, he has appeared in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before, the most sublime and radiant mellow of devotional service, that mellow of conjugal love." So this can be our daily prayer, that we can absorb that potency of Lord Chaitanya, and in some way or another try to help him on picking up the fruits and distributing them. I often meditate about book distribution, because when we were young devotees, book distribution was very prominent. It was very encouraged, and it was really happening. It was not something like small, it was big. Many devotees were doing this service actively, and those of us who stayed back in the temples, we were encouraged to go at least on the Christmas marathons out. And when in '89, when the Berlin Wall fell down, many devotees started going to distribute books in East Germany. And somehow I was pulled. I was kind of forced to go there, and I was just standing with the books in the middle of the town, and people were passing by, and I didn't speak any German. It was like few words only, and they didn't speak any English. For them, English was not possible. So I remember I would just hold the book and look at them. And that was kind of like, you want it, you can have it. And I don't remember the number. It was like a 1 week experience. And I came back to the temple, and my spiritual master looked at me and asked, "And how many books you distribute?" And I said the number, and he was like, "Oh, wonderful." It was a small number, nothing to compare with the real book distribution. And he was very pleased. He said, "Oh, wonderful, you did it." But nowadays I feel many of us cannot do this anymore, like go on the streets and distribute books. And I was meditating on how could we do it now, like what would be the solution. Of course I ask myself, like, if you could, how would you do it now? And then I thought of like, I remembered Srila Prabhupada's matchless gift, the storefront in New York, where everything started. I have this beautiful bag. I received from, I received from devotees, because my husband and me, we had for many years in our home the painting of Jadurani, of Radha and Krishna and the cow. Radha Krishna and the cow. The first painting of Radha Krishna, Jadurani, which was there in the beginning, in the matchless gift, and then somehow they sent those original paintings to Europe, and we had it in a temple. Our spiritual master had it, and then he gave it to us, and he asked us to take care of it, and it was more than 20 years with us. And then at one point we saw that they are renovating Matchless Gift. Devotees want to revive it, bring it to the, like a kind of memory, but also active memory, I would say, not just, as it was, but also for the future generations, important. So I asked my husband, what do you think? And he was actually the first saying, let us tell them that we have this painting with us, because they made a copy. They made a copy and had it on the opening of the ceremony. And then through Krishna's arrangements, through some devotees, we came to that we sent the painting back last September, and they were sending some gifts in exchange. And I always think we have to open in every city, big or small, a matchless gift store, and have Srila Prabhupada's books in all the languages, so anyone who enters, because we have Srila Prabhupada's books distributed in, I think, almost all major languages in the world. And I would really like to see a bookstore with all Srila Prabhupada's books there, and also books from the devotees, from Srila Prabhupada's disciples, who are really writing beautiful books, and the disciples of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, who are also writing books, because books are very, very important. And in our case, in many of us, a book was a flute. I came in contact with Krishna consciousness through a book. And so sometimes it can be prasadam, sometimes it can be concert of, devotees singing beautifully, holy name, and sometimes it can be a book. And books are really, really, really good fruits, because you can taste them again and again and again and again. And then what you have learned you can share, and it's kind of like going on. So that was all I have to say. I mean, we could go on churning the future possibilities of distribution of the fruits, love of God, but it will happen. The chapter is still going on. So thank you very much. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Kalpatarikascha. Kripa Sindhu. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.